Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you something. Do you speak English with your mouth but still think in your own language? Do you pause before every sentence? Do you hear a question in English, quickly change it into your own language in your head, find the answer, and then change it back into English? If yes, then you're not alone. I used to do the same. It felt slow, hard, and confusing. I wanted to speak fluently, but my brain was always busy translating. That's why I got stuck. That's why I couldn't speak fast. But what if I told you your brain can speak English too, not just your mouth? What if you could think in English without stopping, without translating, and without fear? Today, I will take you step by step. I will tell you my real story, how I trained my brain to stop translating and to start thinking in English. It is simple. It is possible. And if I can do it, you can too. So stay with me till the end. This might change how you speak English forever. Chapter 1. When I used to translate everything. I remember the early days of my English journey. I wanted to speak well. I wanted to understand everything. But there was a big problem. I was thinking in my own language, not in English. Every time someone spoke English, I first changed the sentence into my native language in my head. Then I tried to understand it. After that, I made the answer in my own language. And only then I tried to translate it back into English to reply. It took too much time. It was slow. It was tiring. I would often stay quiet because I couldn't finish the full circle in my brain. I knew the answer, but I was still translating when the moment passed. At school, I sat with other students. Some were quiet like me, some were confident. They answered fast. I wondered, how do they speak so quickly? Do they also translate like me? One day, I asked a friend who spoke English fluently, "Do you first think in your language and then translate?" He smiled and said, "No, I just think in English." That shocked me. I didn't know it was even possible. I thought we all had to translate in our head before speaking. That day, I understood something very important. If I keep thinking in my language, I will always speak slowly. If I want to speak English naturally, I have to think in English. But I didn't know how. I tried, but my mind always went back to my language. I saw a book. I said, "Kitab," then tried to remember the English word book. I saw a boy running. My brain said, "Larka bhag raha hai," and I had to stop and translate every word. This habit was strong. I had done it for years. Breaking this habit was hard, but I wanted to change. I wanted to train my brain. So I started small. I made a simple rule. I will name things around me in English. Every day. Again and again. I sat in my room and looked around. Chair, table, wall, window, fan, pen, bag, mirror. I said the names out loud. I did this many times. In the morning, at night, while walking, while brushing my teeth. Slowly, my brain started using English words first. It was strange in the beginning, but it became easier with time. Then I tried to make simple sentences. This is my bag. I am drinking water. It is raining. At first, I made mistakes. Sometimes the grammar was wrong. Sometimes I forgot a word. But I kept going. I didn't stop. I didn't care about being perfect. I only wanted to stop translating. That was my goal. And slowly, it worked. My brain started giving me English words without asking. One evening, I was with my cousin. He asked me something. I replied in English. After a moment, I stopped. I was surprised. I had replied without thinking in my language. I smiled. That was a big moment for me. I still remember it clearly. That day I felt I was changing. My brain was learning to think in English. But I had to be careful. If I stopped practicing, my old habit came back. So I made thinking in English part of my life. While walking, I described things in English in my head. While cooking, I said the steps in English. While watching people, I made stories in English about what they were doing. These were my small exercises. These were my daily brain workouts. You know what I learned? Thinking in English is not magic. It is not talent. It is practice. Just like muscles grow when you exercise daily, your English brain grows when you think in English daily. Even if you make mistakes, even if you forget words, keep trying, keep thinking, keep speaking. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be regular. So if you are like me, if you still think in your language and then translate, don't worry. You can change this. But don't wait. Start now. Start small. Name things around you, make short sentences, talk to yourself. And one day you'll notice what I noticed. You'll say something in English, and you won't even remember translating it. That moment will feel like freedom. Chapter 2. Why thinking in English feels hard, but isn't. Thinking in English feels hard at first. I understand. I've been there. You try to speak, you try to make a sentence, but your mind is full of your own language. You hear a word in English, but before you understand it, your brain changes it into your native language. You try to reply, but again, you make the answer in your language first. And then you look for the English words. It takes time. It feels like running through a maze. That's why it feels hard. But let me tell you a truth. Thinking in English is not hard. It just feels hard in the beginning because you never practiced it before. Think about this. When you learned your first language as a child, you didn't sit down with a grammar book. You didn't translate anything. You listened, you repeated, you made mistakes, but you used the language directly. Your parents didn't ask you to translate. They just talked. And slowly, your brain got used to it. English can work the same way. But the problem is, we never give our brain that kind of chance with English. We always try to make it perfect. We are scared of making mistakes, so we translate, and that stops real learning. When you think in your language first, English becomes a second-hand message. It loses its power. It becomes weak and slow. But when you think directly in English, the words come faster. Your sentences become natural. You don't stop after every word. You don't feel nervous. But I know what you're thinking now. How can I do that? My brain is full of my language. Don't worry, that's normal. At first, your mind will pull you back. It will say, "This is hard." But your job is to push gently every day. Not hard, just gently. I remember when I started. I tried to describe everything in English, but my brain kept giving me words in my own language. I was walking one day and saw a tree. My brain said, "Drucht." I said, "No, say tree." I repeated it, tree, tree, tree. Next time I saw another one, and this time my brain said tree first. That's when I knew my brain was learning. Your brain is not your enemy. It just follows what you repeat. If you always think in your own language, it will keep giving you that. If you repeat English every day, it will give you English too. Your brain doesn't care what language it gives you. It only cares what you practice. That's the secret. If you want to think in English, you have to give English to your brain, again and again. Here is a small trick I used. I created English zones in my day. These were little moments where I told myself, only English now. For example, when I was brushing my hair, I told myself the steps in English. Pick up the brush, brush from top. One more time, done. It was simple but powerful. When I was cooking, I said everything in English. Wash the rice, boil water, add salt. No big words, just simple ones. But they trained my mind. They made English natural. And do you know the best part? After some days, I didn't have to force my brain. It started giving me English thoughts on its own. That was a beautiful feeling. I felt free. I felt fast. I felt confident. You don't need to be fluent to think in English. You only need to start. Start with 2 words. I sit. I eat. I walk. Then make them longer. I am sitting. I am eating rice. I am walking to the shop. Keep going. Every day add 1 more sentence. Don't be afraid. Don't wait for the perfect sentence. It will come. What matters is practice. So if thinking in English feels hard, remember, it only feels hard because your brain is not used to it. But it's ready to learn. It's ready to change. You just have to give it the chance. And when you do, your whole English journey becomes easier. You stop being a translator. You start being a thinker in English. Chapter 3: The 3 Best Practices That Changed My Brain. I want to tell you something important, something that helped me the most. Thinking in English is not just about talent or luck. It's about practice, the right kind of practice. In the beginning, I tried many things. Some worked, some didn't. But slowly, I found 3 simple habits that changed everything. These habits trained my brain. They helped me stop translating and start thinking in English. And today, I want to share them with you. These are not hard. You don't need books. You don't need a teacher. You just need a few minutes every day. And a little courage. The first practice was naming everything in English. I called this my word walk. Whenever I walked somewhere, to school, to the shop, or just around the house, I looked at things and said their names in English. Tree, window, car, sky, dog, bag, fan. I didn't make full sentences in the beginning, just 1 word for each thing. My brain started to connect real things with English words. It was slow at first, but I kept going. Later, I added more. A blue car, a big tree, a clean window. Then I moved to full thoughts. I see a blue car. The tree is tall. That dog is barking. My mind was learning. It was moving from words to thoughts. The second practice was talking to myself. Yes, I talked to myself like a friend, in the mirror, in my room, quietly, softly. I didn't care if I made mistakes. I just wanted to speak. I started with my day. I woke up late. I am brushing my teeth. I am wearing a red shirt. These were real things, real actions, so they were easy to say. Then I added my plans. I will go to school. I will eat lunch with my friend. I have homework today. My mind stopped needing translation. I was thinking directly in English. Sometimes I even joked with myself. Come on, you can do this. Don't be lazy. Let's go. It made the practice fun. It made me feel confident. The third practice was shadowing. I found this method by accident. One day, I was watching a cartoon in English. I liked the voice. It was simple and clear. So I paused the video and repeated what the character said. I am ready. Let's go outside. It's a sunny day. I said the words again and again. I tried to match the voice, the speed, the feeling. This was shadowing. I was copying real English speakers. Not just the words, but also the way they said them. I did this with cartoons, short videos, and even songs. It felt like playing a game, but it trained my ear. It trained my mouth. And most of all, it trained my brain. One of my favorite moments was when I went to buy bread. I was standing in the line and I thought, I will buy 2 loaves of bread. And then I smiled because I didn't translate it. The sentence just came fast, natural, English. That moment felt magical. I felt proud. I felt free. Let me be honest. These 3 practices didn't work like magic in one day. I had to repeat them every day. I had to be patient. I had to trust the process. But they worked. Slowly, gently, deeply. My brain stopped asking for my native language. It started living in English. Even my dreams became half English sometimes. That made me laugh, but also made me believe I was becoming a real English thinker. So now I ask you, can you do this? Yes, you can walk and name things. You can talk to yourself. You can copy English from videos. These are small steps, but they bring big results. The secret is not perfection. The secret is repetition. Again and again, until your brain says, okay, I know this now. Thinking in English is not about being smart. It's about being steady. If you practice these 3 habits every day, even for 10 minutes, your brain will change. One day, you will say a full sentence in English without translating, and you will feel what I felt: joy, power, freedom. Chapter 4: When I Failed and Still Kept Going. Let me be honest with you. I didn't always do it right. I didn't always feel strong. There were many days when I felt like giving up. Even after I started thinking in English, sometimes my brain would go back to my old language. I would forget simple words. I would stop in the middle of a sentence. I would feel lost again. And I thought, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I will never think in English like others. But I was wrong. These moments didn't mean I was weak. They were part of the journey. They were signs that I was trying something big, something new. And new things always feel hard at first. I remember one day clearly. I was practicing English with my friend. We were talking about daily life. I wanted to say, I made breakfast today, but the word breakfast didn't come to my mind. I stood there for 5 seconds, quiet. I could feel the silence. My heart beat faster. I felt embarrassed. I almost gave up. But my friend smiled and said, "It's okay. Just try again." So I did. I said, I made food in the morning. It wasn't perfect, but it was okay. I spoke. I didn't quit. That was a small win. Failing is not the end. It's part of growing. When a baby learns to walk, it falls many times. But the baby doesn't say, I can't do this. It stands up and tries again. That's how learning works. When I made mistakes in English, I felt sad. But after some time, I started to look at mistakes in a new way. I thought, every mistake is a message. It's teaching me something. So I listened to my mistakes. I wrote them down. I learned from them. That helped me grow faster. Sometimes I didn't feel like practicing. I felt tired. I wanted to play games or scroll my phone. My brain said, just skip today. And yes, some days I skipped, but I made sure I didn't skip 2 days in a row. I told myself, even 5 minutes is enough. Just speak one sentence. Just think one thought in English. And when I did that, I felt good. I felt strong. I stayed on track. There were also days when I compared myself to others. I saw people speaking fast, using big words, laughing in English. I felt small. I thought, why am I not like them? But then I remembered something important. They were not born like that. They practiced too. They also had their failures. I reminded myself, This is my journey. My time will come. I just need to keep going. One time, I watched an English video and understood nothing. I felt like crying. But the next day, I watched the same video again, and this time, I understood a few words. Open the door. Sit down. Let's go. That was progress. I smiled. I knew I was getting better, even if it was slow. Thinking in English is like planting a seed. You don't see the flower on the first day, but you water it. You give it sunlight, and slowly it grows. The same is true with your brain. Every time you think in English, you water the seed. Every time you don't give up after a mistake, you give it sunlight, and one day it blooms. I want to tell you something I learned. Your mind listens to your voice. If you say, I can't do this, your mind believes it. But if you say, I will try again, your mind listens to that too. So speak kindly to yourself, be patient with your journey, and never stop. The day I finally thought in English without any effort, I felt free. But I only reached that day because I kept going through the days when I failed. Those days made me strong. Those days taught me the most. So if you are failing, don't worry. You are on the right path. You are learning. You are growing. Don't stop now. Keep going. You are closer than you think. Chapter 5. From translating to thinking. The final step. This is the part where everything changes. The final step. The moment when I stopped being a learner and started living like an English speaker. Not just with my mouth, but with my brain, my thoughts, my daily life. I no longer needed to translate. I no longer needed to stop and think. English was inside me. It was part of my day, part of my world. But it didn't happen suddenly. It came from small steps, from daily habits, from choosing English again and again. I started making English my environment. I changed the language on my phone to English. I wrote my to-do lists in English. I spoke to myself while cooking, brushing my teeth, even while walking to the shop. I watched videos in English. But this time, I wasn't just listening. I was thinking along with the video. I guessed what the speaker would say next. I repeated lines out loud. I closed my eyes and said them again, from memory. My brain began to connect everything with English. One simple habit helped a lot. Every night before sleeping, I reviewed my day. In English, I closed my eyes and said, I woke up at 7. I made tea. I went to class. I met my friend. We laughed. We ate lunch. It didn't matter if the grammar was perfect. What mattered was this. I was thinking in English, not translating, just living the moment in English words. And every morning I continued. I made simple plans in English. Today I will write. Today I will study. Today I will go out. These were my private sentences, but they changed my thinking. I started dreaming in English. Not every night, but sometimes. I would wake up and remember a sentence from the dream. Come here. Are you okay? Let's go. These were not big words, but they were inside my dreams. That made me smile. I knew my brain was learning, deeply, quietly. Another thing I did was describe feelings in English. When I was happy, I said, I feel great today. When I was tired, I said, I need to rest. When I was scared, I said, I can do this. Talking about emotions in English made the language feel more personal. It was not just about objects or actions anymore. It was about me, my real thoughts, my real feelings. I also used one powerful trick. I imagined conversations in English. I pretended someone was asking me questions. How are you? What did you do today? What do you like to eat? And I answered them, in my head or out loud. I even made up stories sometimes. I imagined I was talking to a friend, a teacher, or a traveler from another country. These fake conversations felt real. They gave me practice, and they helped me think fast in English. One day, I realized something amazing. I was sitting with a group of people. They were speaking in English, and I understood everything. I didn't need to translate in my head. I didn't even notice the switch. My brain was just doing it, thinking in English, naturally. That moment felt like magic, like a door had opened. And then came the best part. I started helping others. I met beginners who were just starting their journey. I told them my story. I told them, yes, you will fail. Yes, you will feel stuck, but don't stop. Keep thinking in English, even if it's one word at a time. I saw them smile. I saw hope in their eyes. And I realized this journey wasn't just mine anymore. It was ours. So if you are still translating everything, let me tell you this. You don't have to. You can break free. You can change your thinking. You can make English your second home, not just in books, but in your mind, your heart, your life. You've learned how I did it, from naming things to self-talk to daily reviews to building an English life. Now it's your turn. Not tomorrow, not next week. Start today. Speak to yourself. Think your thoughts in English. Make mistakes. Get stuck. Smile and try again. Because the final step is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. And once your brain gets used to it, thinking in English will no longer be a dream. It will be your reality. If this video helped you understand how to stop translating and start thinking in English, then please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who is also learning English. And tell me in the comments, what English sentence will you try to think today, without translating? I read every comment and reply with care, because your English journey matters to me.